Welcome back to Godsey Garage. Last time in the garage, we finished up making the cold side for Duct Tape's turbo kit. This time, we're making custom spark plug wires. If y'all aren't already, y'all hit that subscribe button for more cool videos weekly. All right, so I got the ICT billet make your own spark plug set. I think it's a little over $100. Not too expensive, but if you're gonna be any kind of customization on your car, or if you're just a real hot rodder, then you're gonna make your own spark plugs. And so this kit comes with 3 different angles. You get straight boots for the end where the actual spark plug connects. You get 45 degrees and you get 90-degree boots. That's really nice considering, you know, you might not be able to fit a straight boot, which in my case, the first cylinder that I started looking at to make a wire, that's the case. I'm probably not gonna be able to fit a straight one in there. I'm gonna probably need to use a 45. But you're gonna need a couple tools when you're putting this stuff together. You're gonna want yourself some just regular snip cutters so that you can trim the wire. You're gonna need yourself some crimpers so that you can crimp the terminal. I like to use a pair of needle nose to make things a little bit easier. I'm gonna show you what I do with those in a little bit. And then for your spark plugs, we've got tolerance, spark plug, gap setter, whatever you wanna call it, and a little flathead screwdriver, just in case we gotta open them up a little bit. Obviously your wires themselves. Now these wires, they come with a 45-degree boot already on them for the coil side, but we're gonna be putting on each one of the boots for the spark plug side. Just like the boot itself, comes with a little terminal end that is for 90s, comes with a little terminal end that is for 45s, and it comes with the little straight ones, just for the straight boots. I'm gonna get started, kind of show you guys step by step how I'm making the spark plug wire, what the process is. All 8 of these spark plugs, gap to 0.028, and it's time to put these things in. We're gonna get them put in the car. That'll give us a place to run each one of these wires and these boots, and hopefully I won't have to pull these things back out. You've got, if you look in there, spark plugs in each cylinder now, tightened down with the wrench. You might actually see right here, spark plug wire drooping down. I've got it connected up here on my coil packs. What this does is just make sure that my coils are away from all that heat up here with the turbo piping and everything. Now, what I've done is I've started out right here with this coil. This coil right here is gonna feed this back cylinder, and then so on and so on and so on, I believe, as long as everything works out. In this case, we're gonna use a right angle boot. You can see that wire is coming around, and what it's gonna do is just gonna come up right there, and on that short piece right here going around the bottom of the header is where we're gonna use one of our heat protectors. So this side right here will be wrapped around it, making sure that it doesn't get melted. Well, okie dokie, we are just about finished up with this thing. Got my last one cut. As you know, I'm just taking the paint pen, making a little mark. You see my little mark right there at the very end. I cut right past it. Make a little mark so I got the right length, and the process that I feel is the easiest would be cut, then slide this thing on. Once you got your little heat protector on, cut you about an inch of the casing off of this thing, like we did before when we started out with that first cylinder. What's that, 7 cylinders ago? And then what I found is once you get it cut all the way around, you ain't got to cut super deep. That little protective white stuff that's inside of it, it'll tear pretty easy and leave you with what you want. But what you got to do is you pull out just a little bit, and I twist right. Give me about a full rotation, and then I'll twist back, and pop, comes right off, leaves you just enough space. And then I'm gonna be putting a 90-degree boot on this. So what I like to do is I like to take it, think about, okay, it's on the wall, it's gonna be coming out about like that. It's gonna be coming up, hitting right there. So that gives me a good idea of what direction my boot's gonna go. It's gonna go like so. And you know, mind you, this thing has enough twist in it to where it could always twist, but I'm just trying to make it easy on myself. what I'll do is, now that I've got an idea of where it's gonna go, next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take one of these 90-degree boots, and if you ain't got dielectric grease, pretty much everybody's got WD-40. A buddy of mine, I call him Old Tim, Big Tim, told me, hey, if you ain't got no dielectric grease, for years he's been building cars and race cars and everything else, owns his own literal, that's what he does for a living, his mechanic shop. He told me, he said, you can squirt yourself a little WD-40 on there, and I like to take a little bit of it that is left over and put just a little bit of it on the actual spark plug wire itself. And then we'll find our small end, this guy right here, and feed it through. And what I like to do is I'll kind of bend this 90 just a little bit so that it'll slide on through and don't get caught there at that corner. Just keep pushing it through. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna push it through until I got about at least 2 inches sticking out of it. It's gonna give me some space. Then I'm gonna wipe that WD-40 off, get it nice and clean. Making sure it's dry. There we are. And so next step is gonna be looking at this boot, coming down here, gonna do a number like that. That means I'm gonna bend this up. I'm always bending my wire to the turn of the boot, basically. More importantly, what I'm doing is with a 90, like so, I want to put the wire on the back side of it. I don't want it to be over here. I don't want it to be over here because when you're crimping it, it could accidentally miss the wire or something like that. I want it to be on the back so that I know for certain I've got all this metal on the back that's clamping for us, and clamping surface, which is more important than anything when it comes to wiring, is just having a good surface contact from that wire to this guy. Because this, with that little end, little round end, is what's going to plug onto the actual spark plug itself. So once I've got the wire bent back, I'm going to take this guy, we're going to set it on there like we talked about. But what I've noticed that helps me is take me needle nose, and I'm going to grab these ends just barely, I mean just barely, just get the tip of it, and I'm going to roll it in just a little bit. Roll it in. You'll see, kind of rolling it in. What that's going to do is when I stick this wire in there and I start to crimp it, it's actually going to give me kind of a starting place so that these little ends on the end, we want them to turn in and kind of pinch the wire, the outer casing of it. All I'm doing is just opening it back up a little bit. Sometimes you squeeze a little bit too much. Take yourself a couple minutes, open it back up. Don't try to just shove this thing in there and cut the outside of it, or even worse, cut the wire that carries your current. Dog out there barking about something. But now that I got it on there, make sure that I slid it back. This is why we have an inch left, so that we could fold that wire over and then put this on top of it. Got it slid back. It's in a good position. It's about where you want it, where that tip is just about meeting it. And now, take the pliers, take your needle nose, whatever it may be. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna squeeze from the side. Then, take my crimpers, get in there. Make sure that it's got a good hold on it. I'm gonna give it a little tug. Don't do it more than 3 times, then you're playing with it. And now, slide this boot up. Be careful to make sure that it don't catch on any of the metal pieces. They're just coming up. and it will slide itself right into position. Wipe it down, any of that excess WD-40. And then, I don't know if y'all can see, but deep down inside of there, it is sitting perfect. We've got basically this little end piece is sitting just right, 90 degrees. Whatever you're using, whether it be a straight or a 45 or a 90, we just want to make sure that that thing is ready and the perfect angle to receive the end of the spark plug. Now, it's time to put on that last spark plug wire. When you push it on there, you should feel it. You're gonna feel the suction of the cup, but you should feel a click when the actual spark plug sits on it there. And I'm gonna run my little heat shield up, and that's pretty much it. Well, folks, that's pretty much how I put together, make your own spark plug wires, gapping the spark plugs for a twin turbo LS, and really it'll pretty much apply to just about anything. But thank you guys for watching the channel. I do appreciate y'all's comments. I do appreciate y'all participating and watching the videos and stuff. It's really cool. I don't have a ton of people that I know that are close to me that have cars, so it's always cool to meet new people who also have a project and they're working on something. If you're working on a project right now, drop a comment. Let me know what you guys are working on and what you're doing to it. I'd love to hear about it. Besides that, thank you for watching Gott's Garage, and tune in next time. We'll be doing some more stuff. Hopefully soon we're gonna get this duct tape Nova running. See y'all soon.